Hello, welcome to Undisputed Boxing. We're back to talk Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, reluctantly. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, comment, negative or positive, it's all good. I'm here with Rick. He made me watch this. We did say that this is going to be a no YouTube boxer channel, but we've caved.
We've succumbed to we're view whores, so we thought that this might help our views a bit, though we don't really want to talk about it.
Well, I'll let. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Don't know where to start with it. I mean, it's an awful fight, No, there's no two ways about it. You know, with Logan Paul with his wrestling background, we always knew he was going to hit and hold. I mean, he looks terrible. Jake Paul can fight a bit. Like he's actually not bad, and he's going to make a career just, starching MMA guys in a boxing ring, and he'll continue to do that as well. But Logan Paul is terrible. Like I think his percentage, his hit percentage or his shots landed percentage was like 11 or 12% or something. And he had a bit of a flurry at the end of the first round where you're like, okay. I think he caught him maybe like hard, maybe 2 or 3 times in the whole fight. Floyd Mayweather, who looked old, and it was a little bit sad actually. I mean, he's still got those kind of reflexes, but he is way off the pace. Never out of shape, and fair play to him. He's 44 years old. He's still able to kind of show people up. But I thought it was a little bit sad, really. And I really, really hope that this is the last time Mayweather does it, and nobody can begrudge him, having another run out and another cash grab whilst people are still willing to pay it. But it was that bad. I really hope that it kind of kills these kind of freak shows, which is what they are. Let's not beat around the bush. They are kind of, freak shows. And, Mayweather, McGregor, I can kind of get on board with that a little bit with the whole shenanigans and the fight build up. But I mean, everybody knew that Mayweather was going to be light years ahead of McGregor. But it was kind of entertaining. Boxing for an MMA fighter, boxing is probably 5%. They focus more on kickboxing and Muay Thai boxing. They don't really, focus on boxing. So their boxing capability is embarrassing for the most part. But yeah, I don't know. You'd obviously have to say Mayweather comfortably won that fight, even at 20%, 15-20% of what he was in his prime. That's
anyway. I think my overall view was, like, if I had to say like one sentence, is that Mayweather has now fallen off the cliff.
Yeah.
I mean, Logan Paul was as bad as I expected. I'm not sure what I expected from Mayweather, but he has now fallen off the cliff. I mean, when he fought, what's his name? You just meant
McGregor.
When he fought McGregor, you could see he had deteriorated a bit from how he was, which is acceptable with his age and, retiring. And he did fight someone soon after that, some Japanese guy or Korean guy.
I think it was a Japanese kickboxer.
Yeah. And again, just look, but this was a Povetkin style fall off a cliff for me, and the evidence was in the output. I mean, he threw like 104 punches in 8 rounds, and luckily for him, he had like a 40% land rate or something like that. So he well outlanded him, even though he's only thrown half the punches. But he just, I don't know. I suppose at the same time, it's an exhibition, so you don't know if he just actually went easy on him, but you don't know if that was his full effort or what. Maybe he hasn't fallen off the cliff as much and he just wasn't thinking. I don't know.
I think
but either way, I think you're right. It ain't a great advert to want to see anything like that again.
No, he did go for the stoppage. He did not. For that fight going to points is a victory for Logan Paul. A lot of people have said that, but it's a net victory for Logan Paul. Everybody expected Mayweather to kind of stop him, and I don't think Mayweather would. I mean, Mayweather carried McGregor. I think Mayweather could have got rid of McGregor earlier than he did. So for Logan Paul to go the distance, it's kind of a slap in the face to boxing. and which is kind of what bugs me. And also, it's pay-per-view. I mean, how much was that? $80?
Yeah.
$80. And that, do you know, here's the joke of it. That probably does more pay-per-view buys than Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Probably.
I'd have preferred to pay the pay-per-view, watch the undercard, because there's some all right fighters on that, and then not watch that at the end. But again, like, you know, a lot of people, you know, Tyson was there, Mike Tyson, there's lots of like stars there, and suddenly Garcia's out and about again making comments, and I saw he backed Paul to win. Just like, I don't know if these YouTubers all stick together, because I know Garcia's a bit one, but I'm like, I thought you had mental health problems. Why aren't you sorting them out?
It's just a bit of a circus freak show. It's a very, very strange. And like I say, I really hope that is the end of it, but I don't think it is. I think Logan Paul, whilst we're on the subject of YouTubers, Logan Paul is due to fight Tyron Woodley. I think it's happening in August. It's
Jake Paul.
Yeah, did I say Logan Paul? Yeah, Jake Paul. Jake Paul is fighting Tyron Woodley. I don't know if you know much about Tyron Woodley, but
I knew he was fighting him. I don't know how good he is. He was a world champion, wasn't he? I do know him, but I don't know much about him. But I do know he was a UFC champion, but I don't know how good he is at striking.
Yeah, welterweight champion for many years. I think he's a wrestler as a style. He's a wrestler. I think he wrestled at college. I don't think he got to the Olympics, but he's a renowned wrestler. Good jiu-jitsu. He's a bit better with his hands than Ben Askren. But in fact, a lot better with his hands. But he's still probably going to be behind Jake Paul in ability on boxing. But he's a lot nastier. He's a bit more well-conditioned. He'll look a lot better on the scales. I think he's 39 now. But he always, you know, he's always in good shape. And if you look at Tyron Woodley's highlight reel finishes, it's a good mix of like actual knockout wins and like submissions. So he is better with his hands, I think. But I, you know, to be honest with you, I still think Jake Paul wins that. As sad as to say, it'll be a bit more competitive than the Askren fight. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much longer we're going to be doing these for, to be honest.
I know. I found it odd there was no judges, because, you know, with the other thing as well, it is an exhibition, remember? And, you know, it was 10-ounce gloves, I think, instead of 8-ounce. So that wasn't going to help. The size difference big. He's never been a huge knockout artist. He had problems with his hands. So, I mean, I don't know if we did predictions on this. I don't think we did. I think we just said we weren't bothered. I never saw him losing. I don't know if I would have 100% said he'd have knocked him out because of those reasons that I've just given. And it's 8-rounder as well. But I'd have thought, I was surprised they didn't have judges, because then it leaves the kind of a question mark, and they can go around going, "Oh, we beat him." I'm surprised. And maybe Mayweather went as part of the deal, "Okay, we'll have no judges because I'll knock you out anyway," and it's kind of backfired. Or I can't see Mayweather saying, "Let's not have judges." So I almost wonder if the polls were like, if we get this no judges over the line, then all we have to do is survive, and then we can just claim anything. Which is what the brother started doing, you know, straight away, going, you know, got your career, you've been beaten. Like, you see how many punches, the punches landing difference. You know. There you go.
All right.
Anyway, that's enough of it. Yeah.
That's enough of it. Yeah, let's wrap it up. So next week, let's do Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos' prediction for the following week. I don't know if there's anything else on that we need to maybe do a bit of a prediction on. I know Lewis Ritson is back in action as well. I think maybe let's just do a review of that. I'm not really kind of, you know, looking forward to that especially.
You might have some news dropping on, you know, who, you know, some fight. Well, I think I'm hoping actually we get more solid stuff on July, like the Fury Wilder undercard. Who is because Yards, I think, fighting on the 10th along with Arthur, so their opponents. Might be hearing who Joe Joyce is going to fight on the 24th or 31st. I'd love to start, maybe if we get a view of the cards for Matchroom's
Fight camp.
What's it called?
Fight camp.
Fight camp. So we might have some news to talk about in terms of fights being made. Because this is what happens. We kind of there's a big announcement over about 3 months, and then we start getting into it, and you start kind of like, you know, running out of things to talk about, and then there's another big bulk of announcements. So we get that.
All right, cool. Sounds good. All right, cool. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.